Hello, I'm trying to avoid the sun and it's not going well because the sun keeps moving because I don't yet have power over the sun. And it's not just because I'm doing the coursework, I've got the application going in, it's all fine, I will get power over the sun. But in the meantime, I don't have power over the sun and it's making me too hot and uncomfortable and grumpy, and it's also blowing out my contrast a little bit. We'll see how I get on. This one has had its wet finish and it has done something rather good. And let me just hold it up properly. So this was the one with all the floats in it. So these white stripes are in the warp. So it's the white and the blue in the warp. And then I went over with the weft was the blue. But I did a lot of floats. So these solid bars here are where I've gone over the white stripe with my shuttle. And then these long white strips here are where I've gone under the white stripes with my shuttle. And then in the wet finish, everything has pulled in nicely. So the white stripes have pulled in to become like a bar, and the floats have pulled in to become like solid blocks. So I'll show you that. And because of the way that I've done it, so if I point to, let's see what's in shot. So if I point to this one here, so this is a blue solid bar on this side, but then it's a white stripe on that side. So it is essentially the same, it's just alternating, but each side is basically the same. And I also have a bit of a lace effect that I don't, oh, you can sort of see it just next to my head there, just next to my head there. So where the floats have pulled in nice and tight and made those solid blocks, the weaving around it has kind of opened up. So it's very textural, and I think it's come out well. These stripes were considerably wider and less solid looking before the wet finish. Now this yarn is Bendigo Woolen Mills Dolce. The white is Magnolia and the blue is Pacific. It is a Bendigo and wool mix. That's not it. It is a bamboo and wool mix. So it's got the nice squishy warmth of wool, but it's also got the drape. It's got some good drape, little drape dance for you there, and a little bit of a soft sheen like bamboo does. Well, not like bamboo does, it is bamboo. I told you it's a little warm for me today. Now, and I know it's not that warm, I'm just being delicate. So I did say last time that I had an idea, but I hadn't chosen the yarn to do it with. So I'm going to show you this, and then I'm going to show you the loom, because I want to try and explain something, but I don't know how well I'm going to explain it without actually pointing at a loom. So I'll show you this. So you're going, well, that's fine, that's just pink and black. That's barely worth planning, and, you know, harsh. But if we go along, you'll see that the pink disappears. Just slowly shifts from the pink, oops, to the black. And then this other end is solid black. This is a clasped warp. I have trouble saying it. I'm aware that I have trouble saying it. Usually I say clasped. So I thought I had more pink than this. The idea is pretty much what I was planning. So I'll throw that over my shoulder. Because I saw someone had done it with solid colour. And I don't normally do that. I normally have one end is all one colour and the other end is all the other colour. And I thought, well, let's see if we can just do a little bit of solid colour. But I didn't have as much pink as I thought I did. So it stops a little bit soon. So I'm going to grab the loom. We'll talk about what's on the loom in a second. But first I want to talk about how I clasped my warp. So I'm just going to go down here because my loom's down here. So we'll talk about this loom project in a second. But when I warp my loom, I tie my yarn to the back beam up here. I take a loop of that yarn through the heddle and then I walk it down to a peg. And that's just to get the distance. It's called direct warping because I have the space to do that. Not everybody does. Some people do indirect warping on warping boards and all the rest of it. I just do direct warping because that's what I can do and that's what I need. That's not what I need to do. I have the space to do it, so it's all fine. So ordinarily I would take, so in this case I took these loops, this loop. So one loop gives you 2 strands. Take that down to the peg, loop it round the peg, and then walk it back so that you measure out your distance. With a clasped warp, you tie your yarn to the back beam, you bring it to wherever you want that yarn to finish in the warp, and then you have more yarn at the other end, at the peg end, that you loop through that loop. So the reason we loop is so that we can measure it out, and then we divide it up. So you've got loads and loads of loops, and then when you're getting ready to weave, you take, how am I explaining this? Quite badly. So because of the loops, you've got 2 threads in each slot all the way across your heddle. You take one of those threads and put it in the holes, basically. To do this one, I just double threaded it. Yeah, I think that's probably about right. So I'll show you what I mean with the yarn weight in a second. So I had the black and then I had the pink, which went sort of down about halfway, between, not quite halfway, a bit more than halfway. And then I looped some black through that so that it's held in place and it doesn't have to go all the way to the end. I don't know if any of this is making sense. It's making sense in my head, but I was there. So let me know in the comments if I've made any sense. Not like forever, but just in this specific instance. I don't need to know that in Work in Progress Wednesday 76 I was talking nonsense, because I probably was. So we'll talk about this in a second, but I just want to continue to talk about this pink and black one. So I'm down here, I'm coming back, here we go. So because of the way that a clasped warp is done, I'll show you. I don't know that it's going to show up very well. So this thread was brought down in a loop, and then it's not going to show up, I don't think. You might be able to see that it loops through or the black loops through the pink, and they lock together like that, so that then we take the black down to the peg and the pink back up to the back beam. Does this make sense? Now, because I didn't have as much pink as I was expecting to have, the rest of it is actually doubled black to give it the same weight. Otherwise you get all sorts of tension issues. It's possible, it's doable, and it's an interesting effect. I just wasn't in the mood. So the black is doubled, the pink is doubled because of the way that the clasped warp works. And what we end up with is this very bold pink stripe that fades into black. I will be doing another clasped warp. Sorry, clasped warp. We can say it like a lady, it's fine. With different colours, because this was just kind of the first two colours that I grabbed. I happened to have the black cotton, and I happened to have just enough black cotton to do this. And the pink, as I said, I didn't have quite as much as I thought I did. But I will be doing this version again, because normally, as I said, what I do is so the way that I would normally do it is have this end all pink, and then by the time it gets to this end, it's all black, just like this one is. So to do it with a bit of a variance like that was interesting to me. I don't know that it's interesting to you, but it's interesting to me. So yes, that's clasped warp, and I've explained it beautifully, and everything's very clear and fine. This has also already been wet finished because it's been warm and things dry. Now, back to the little loom. Down we go. So this one is a little pick-up stick pattern. It's a very simple pick-up stick pattern. You can ignore these blue strands here. What I'm doing is holding the pickup stick in place so that when I'm shuffling this around to show it to you, this doesn't fall down and I don't have to find which threads I had in the pickup stick pattern again, because I'm tired. Chuffs! Oh, I love it. You've got no idea how much I love these chuffs. Hello, babies. Yeah, it's all fine. It's all good. So anyway, so this yarn for the warp is, I've got the rest of the ball in here. I didn't use as much as I was expecting to. So this is what this yarn looks like. This was actually quite neat before I put it in my bag, and I've got the label in the middle so I can tell you what it is. And if I remember, I'll put a link in the description. And if I haven't remembered, remind me. And I'm doing this one-handed. Here we go. It's Hawthorne. Here we go. It's all good. Hawthorne Cottage Yarns. This is their 8-ply merino. In the colour mulberry, apricot and gold. And that's how that looks. While the blue that I'm using for the weft is Bendigo Woolen Mills again. I should just marry them, really. If I love them so much, why don't I just marry them? This is Bendigo Woolen Mills Rustic Tweed in the 8-ply. And I can't remember the name of the colour. It's blue. Sea wash, ocean wash, something like that. I don't know. It's blue anyway. So what I've got going on here is a pickup stick pattern, and I don't know how well that's showing up because I can't really see the viewfinder. So you might be able to see I've got 3 very tiny little floats. I've got 3 little floats in groups. Oh, well, I've got floats in groups of 3, and I've got 6 of those across the width. So there's 2 reasons I'm doing that. First of all, because I'm trying to do less just plain weave. I love plain weave. Plain weave is phenomenal. It's beautiful. It's an amazing structure. It does wonderful things. But I do feel like I'm in a little bit of a plain weave rut. I mean, that clasped warp is technically plain weave, but it's fancy plain weave. So there's nothing wrong with plain weave. I love plain weave. I love doing plain weave. I love the way it looks. It's also known as tabby weave. But I am trying to be a little bit fancier. So the reason for these floats is actually so that we get I don't know that this is showing up at all. My head's fallen down, but that's probably okay. Pop that back up there. You might be, oh, I don't think you can, but you might be able to see you've got some sort of solid lines of the colour on the back. It's going to show up better when I can show it to you off the loom. So, the reason that I want those solid lines of colour on the back is to let the colours in this warp shine a little bit, because I feel like they might be a little bit hidden by the blue. Now, at the moment, they're very hidden by the blue, but that's... I don't know how that happened. Hang on. There we go. Anyway, hi, back. My lovely assistant didn't turn up for work today. So, at the moment, they're a little bit hidden by the blue, but once this comes off tension, they will hopefully balance out a little bit, because this is the same ply, the same thickness of yarn. It's just that this is stretched out under tension. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll have it off the loom for next week, and then I can show you what the back looks like. Is that doing what I wanted it to do? Yes, it is. It's all fine. It's all fine. It's all good. You can worry too much about these things. One of the concerns that I have is I tried doing a pattern like this once before and thought, I really like the way those floats are just in stripes. So what you need to do, I'm going to finish a thought any minute now. So we've got this little group of 3, and then we've got some plain weave in the middle, and you need that plain weave in the middle to catch the warp thread, which is not showing up very well. There we go. To catch that, so that it's part of the weave structure. And I didn't realise that the first time I did a pattern like this, and just went, oh, I really like these little floats just as a solid stripe. And I got maybe halfway along, and then I flipped it over to see how it was going, and the warp was not caught in the weave structure at all. It was just hanging loose. So I had to unweave all of that and start again, and I said a swear word. Anyway, that's all I have for you. I know you love it when I give you an anecdote. All right, that's enough. It's too warm. Take care of yourself. Have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.